The city was alive with the sound of engines and footsteps, a place where steel met sky and every street seemed to hum with energy. Yet, above the chaos, a massive iron bridge stretched across the wide river, standing tall like a silent guardian. Its beams glinted faintly under the orange glow of the evening sun, and its surface seemed to carry not only the weight of vehicles and people, but also the memories of countless lives that had crossed it. Myra walked slowly toward the bridge, her sketchbook tucked under her arm. She had been coming here for months, ever since her father's passing. He had been one of the engineers who worked on the bridge decades ago, and she felt connected to him every time she traced the lines of the structure with her pencil. Today, the air was crisp, and the soft hum of the city below felt almost peaceful compared to the bustling streets she had left behind. She settled near one of the bridge's support beams, placing her bag on the ground and opening her sketchbook. Her pencil moved across the page with careful precision, capturing the crisscrossing patterns of metal and the way the fading sunlight reflected off the beams. Myra loved this part of the day, when the city seemed to pause just long enough for her to notice the small details others often missed. As she worked, a shadow moved across the bridge, catching her attention. She looked up quickly, squinting against the last rays of sunlight. There, near the middle of the bridge, was a figure walking slowly, almost as if they were studying the bridge itself. The figure stopped and turned toward her. Myra's heart skipped a beat, and she instinctively pulled her sketchbook closer to her chest. The figure was a young man, with simple clothing and an open, friendly face. He waved hesitantly, and she found herself waving back. He began walking toward her, each step careful, as if he did not want to startle her. "Hi," he said when he reached her. His voice was calm and warm. "I hope I'm not disturbing you. I just wanted to see the bridge up close." Myra hesitated for a moment but then shook her head. "No, it's fine. I come here to sketch. It's quieter than the streets, and the light is nice at this time of day." He smiled. "I'm Liam," he said, offering a hand. Myra glanced at it, then shook it lightly. "Myra," she replied. They both laughed softly at the formality of introductions, but the laughter felt easy, comfortable. For a few moments, they simply stood there, watching the sun dip lower behind the city skyline, the beams of the bridge turning gold and then silver as the light changed. "I've never seen someone sketch a bridge before," Liam said after a pause. "I usually just cross it. Never really notice it." Myra smiled, her pencil still hovering over the paper. "Most people don't. But it's important to notice. Every beam, every bolt, every curve, it tells a story." Liam nodded thoughtfully. "I think I'd like to hear some of those stories. If you don't mind sharing." She hesitated, unsure if she wanted to talk about her father with a stranger. But something in his eyes made her feel that it was safe to share. "My father helped build this bridge," she began softly. "He always said that a bridge is more than steel and bolts. It's a connection between people, between places, sometimes even between past and present." Liam listened intently, his gaze fixed on her face. "That's really beautiful," he said. "I never thought about it like that." The sun had almost disappeared, leaving the bridge bathed in a soft twilight glow. Myra felt a strange sense of calm, sitting there with someone who seemed to understand the bridge as she did. Liam's presence was comforting, yet there was a quiet curiosity in his eyes, as if he wanted to learn everything about the city, about its people, and about her. As the first stars appeared in the sky, Myra closed her sketchbook and stood. "I should head back," she said, feeling a small pang of reluctance. "Would I see you here again?" Liam asked, a hopeful note in his voice. Myra smiled. "Maybe. I usually come in the evenings. You're welcome to join me." He grinned. "I think I will. It feels nice to be here. And it feels nice to meet someone who sees things differently." They walked toward the edge of the bridge together, the sound of the river flowing below mixing with the distant city noise. For the first time in a long while, Myra felt that she wasn't just walking alone. There was someone here who might understand the stories she carried, and perhaps, someone who could even help her create new ones. As they parted ways that evening, the bridge seemed to hold a secret between them, a promise of new beginnings, and perhaps, the first shadow of a connection that could grow stronger with each passing day. The next evening, Myra arrived at the bridge earlier than usual. The sky was painted with soft shades of pink and purple, and a cool breeze brushed her hair as she walked along the familiar path. Her sketchbook was tucked under her arm, and her mind wandered, thinking about the stranger she had met the night before. Liam had stayed in her thoughts more than she had expected. There was something about his quiet curiosity, the way he looked at the bridge with genuine admiration, that made her heart feel lighter. As she reached her usual spot near one of the support beams, she noticed a figure already standing there, looking over the water. It was him. Liam turned when he heard her footsteps, and his face brightened into a warm smile. "Hi, Myra," he said softly. "Hi, Liam," she replied, feeling a small rush of happiness. He stepped aside to make room for her. "I came early," he admitted. "I wanted to see the bridge before it got too busy. There's something about it in the quiet that feels alive." Myra nodded, settling on a low railing to start sketching. She felt a little shy, but Liam's presence was not uncomfortable. Instead, it was soothing, like a calm current running alongside the flowing river beneath them. For a few moments, they worked in silence. Myra's pencil moved across the page, tracing the iron beams, while Liam simply watched, occasionally glancing at the patterns and angles she drew. Then, with a thoughtful tone, he asked, "Can you tell me more about your father? You said he helped build this bridge." Myra paused, her pencil hovering above the page. She had talked about him yesterday, but sharing memories felt different in the soft glow of evening. "He loved the bridge," she began. "He believed that every part of it had a purpose. Not just to carry people and vehicles, but to connect lives. He used to say that bridges are like people, they hold more than just what you see on the surface." Liam listened closely, nodding. "That's beautiful. I never thought about bridges that way. I usually just walk across them without noticing anything. That's why I come here," Myra said, a small smile forming. "Most people rush through life, missing the details. The curves, the textures, the light, they all have stories. My father wanted people to notice them, even if only for a moment." Liam leaned closer to look at her sketchbook. "You see so much. It's amazing. You make the bridge feel alive on paper." Myra felt warmth spread through her chest at his words. There was honesty in his admiration, a simple appreciation that didn't feel forced. She realized that she had been waiting for someone who could see the world as she did, not exactly the way she did, but close enough to understand. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the iron beams, Liam began to ask about the city itself. "Do you think people here appreciate the bridge?" he asked. Myra thought for a moment. "Some do, but most are too busy with their own lives. The bridge is just a part of their routine. But I think, when someone notices it, really notices it, even for a moment, that's enough. Liam smiled. I'm one of those people then. I noticed it. They laughed softly, and for a while, the only sound was the wind and the gentle hum of the city below. The air felt lighter with every passing minute, and Myra found herself sharing small stories about the bridge, how workers used to whistle songs while fixing beams, how pigeons sometimes gathered at the top to watch the sunset, and how her father used to tell her that every person who walked across it added a story to its history. You make it sound magical, Liam said quietly. It's just steel and bolts, but you make it feel alive. Myra blushed slightly, lowering her eyes. Maybe that's what my father wanted me to do. Notice it, remember it, and share it. The evening deepened, and the city lights began to flicker on, reflecting on the river like tiny stars. Liam glanced at the view, then back at Myra. I feel calmer here, he said. Like the world outside the bridge doesn't exist for a moment. Myra smiled, understanding exactly what he meant. The bridge had that effect on her too. It was a place where worries seemed smaller, where the past and present could exist together, and where connections unexpected and quiet could grow. As they prepared to leave, Liam said softly, I'll come again tomorrow. I want to see more of the bridge through your eyes. Myra's heart lifted. I'll be here, she replied, closing her sketchbook. You're welcome anytime. They walked off the bridge side by side, the shadows stretching behind them. Neither spoke much, but both felt a quiet understanding forming between them. The bridge had brought them together, and for the first time, Myra felt that someone might truly see her, not just the sketches or stories she carried, but the person she was. The city buzzed around them, but on the bridge, time seemed to slow. And in the fading light, two lives began weaving together quietly, like shadows dancing across the iron beams. The next few days passed like a gentle river current. Myra and Liam met on the bridge almost every evening, sharing stories, laughter, and quiet moments. The city below continued its endless rhythm, but on the bridge, time seemed slower, more thoughtful. Myra began to feel a sense of comfort she had not known since her father passed, and Liam's curiosity about the world around him seemed endless, yet patient and kind. One evening, as clouds gathered above the city, the wind picked up, carrying a faint scent of rain. Myra arrived with her sketchbook, and Liam was already waiting near the middle of the bridge, looking up at the darkening sky. Looks like a storm is coming, he said, his voice calm but serious. We should probably be careful. Myra nodded. We have time, though. It's still just clouds for now. They walked slowly along the bridge, observing the patterns of the iron beams as shadows stretched across the walkway. The air felt charged, almost alive, as if the storm was making the bridge breathe. Myra noticed Liam seemed quieter than usual. He had always been curious and lively, but tonight, there was a heaviness in his expression. Are you okay? Myra asked, slowing down to match his pace. Liam hesitated, glancing at the water below. There's something I should tell you, he said finally. His words were careful, measured, as if each one carried weight. Myra stopped completely, her pencil poised but forgotten. What is it? She asked gently. I'm not entirely from here, he admitted. His eyes searched hers, looking for understanding. I come from a place far across the sea. My world, it's different. People there don't live like humans do here. They rarely come to cities like this. I didn't mean to hide it, but I wasn't sure how to explain it. Myra blinked, her heart racing. She had sensed that Liam was special in some way, but she hadn't expected this. Yet, as she looked at him, there was honesty in his gaze, and that honesty made it easier to breathe. "Different, how?" she asked softly. Liam smiled faintly, almost sadly. "We see the world in ways humans sometimes can't. We notice patterns, energies, connections, things that are invisible to most people. But I wanted to be here, in this city, to learn, to see, and to meet someone like you." Myra felt warmth in her chest. His words were strange, yes, but they were not frightening. Instead, they made him even more fascinating. "I'm glad you came here," she said honestly. "I don't mind that you're different. If anything, it makes you more interesting. And I like seeing the world differently, through your eyes." A quiet smile crossed Liam's face. "Thank you, Myra. I was afraid you might not understand, or be afraid." "I'm not afraid," she replied firmly. "Everyone has something unique about them. Your difference doesn't change anything. If anything, it makes this bridge, our bridge, feel more special." The first drops of rain began to fall, soft and cold against their skin. Myra opened her umbrella, but Liam did not move to shield himself. Instead, he let the rain fall, feeling it, absorbing it, as if it were part of some larger rhythm he could sense more deeply than anyone else. They walked together in silence, letting the rain patter around them. The clouds reflected off the iron beams, casting dark and shifting shadows across the walkway. The bridge felt alive in a way Myra had never noticed before, almost as if it was aware of the secrets and truths shared upon it. "I'm glad you trust me," Myra said after a while, breaking the silence. "That's not something I give easily." Liam glanced at her, his gaze steady. "You've always been honest with me. That made it easy." As the storm passed, leaving a faint rainbow across the river, Myra realized that something important had shifted. The bond between them was no longer just curiosity or friendship. It had grown deeper, strengthened by honesty, trust, and a shared sense of wonder. Liam's secret had not frightened her, it had drawn her closer, making her heart beat a little faster with each step along the bridge. By the time they reached the far side, the city lights reflected off the wet iron beams, glowing softly. Myra and Liam paused, standing side by side, feeling the quiet magic of the evening. The bridge held their shared moments, their trust, and now, the beginning of something new and fragile. "I'll see you tomorrow?" Liam asked, a hopeful note in his voice. Myra smiled. "I'll be here." And as they parted ways, the shadows on the bridge seemed to linger a little longer, stretching across the beams like a quiet promise. A promise that whatever came next, storms, challenges, or unknown paths, they would face it together. The mornings in the city were always busy, filled with the rush of people and the clatter of vehicles. Yet, Myra found herself counting down the hours until evening, when she could return to the bridge and meet Liam again. Their conversations had become a comfort, a place where the world slowed down and every moment seemed brighter. This evening, the sky was a soft blue, with streaks of gold from the setting sun. Myra arrived first, sketchbook in hand, and sat near one of her favorite beams. She had been thinking about her father a lot lately, remembering the pride in his eyes when he talked about the bridge. It felt strange to share the bridge with someone new, someone who wasn't part of her past, but somehow it also felt right. Liam arrived a few minutes later, carrying a small notebook. He smiled when he saw her. "Hi, Myra. I brought something for you," he said, holding out the notebook. Myra took it gently, curious. What is it? It's a place where I write ideas and sketches from my world, Liam explained. I thought you might like to see how I see things, too. Maybe we can share our dreams. Myra opened the notebook, and her eyes widened at the delicate drawings and careful notes inside. Some sketches were of structures unlike anything she had seen before, buildings that seemed to float, bridges that curved in impossible ways, and machines that moved silently through the air. There were also notes about colors, patterns, and rhythms of life that felt strange but beautiful. These are incredible, Myra said softly. You see the world in a way I could never imagine. Liam shrugged, a small smile on his face. I think humans see beauty in ways I sometimes miss. That's why I like seeing the world through your eyes. You notice the little things, the shadows, the curves, the sunlight, and it makes everything more alive. They shared a quiet moment, looking at the sketches and the bridge around them. Then Myra spoke, her voice thoughtful. I always wanted to improve the city. My father talked about how important it is for people to feel connected, not just to each other, but to the places they live. Sometimes I feel small, like I can't do enough. Liam listened carefully, then reached out to gently touch her shoulder. You've already done something amazing, he said. By noticing, by caring, by sharing your thoughts. Inspiration starts with one person, and you've already inspired me. That's not small at all. Myra felt warmth in her chest, a quiet happiness she hadn't realized she was missing. Thank you, Liam. I think I needed someone to say that. They stood up, moving slowly along the bridge as the wind picked up. The beams above cast long, shifting shadows across the walkway, and the city lights began to sparkle below. Myra felt as if the bridge itself was alive, watching over them, holding their words and dreams in the spaces between the iron beams. I sometimes wonder, Liam said after a pause, what it would be like if humans and my people could share ideas more often. Imagine the cities we could build, the ways we could make life better for everyone. Myra's eyes lit up with excitement. That's exactly what my father wanted. He believed that knowledge and ideas should be shared, that humans could do incredible things if they worked together. Maybe we can try it too, in our own way. Liam smiled, feeling a quiet joy in her enthusiasm. I'd like that, he said simply. They walked together in comfortable silence, each thinking about the possibilities of the future. Myra imagined designing bridges that were safer, more beautiful, and more meaningful to people who crossed them. Liam imagined sharing new ways of seeing the world, combining his knowledge with hers to create something extraordinary. As the sun finally dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with shades of purple and pink, Myra and Liam paused at the center of the bridge. The river below reflected the colors of the sky, and the city lights shimmered like stars. I'm glad I met you, Myra said quietly, almost as if confessing a secret. Me too, Liam replied, his voice gentle. I didn't expect to find someone who could understand both the bridge and me. But here you are. They stood side by side, watching the world below. There was a sense of peace, a feeling that whatever challenges came next, they could face them together. The bridge, strong and steady beneath their feet, seemed to mirror the bond growing between them, built on trust, shared dreams, and the quiet magic of understanding each other. As they finally turned to leave, Myra felt a new sense of hope. The city might be busy, noisy, and full of challenges, but on this bridge, with Liam by her side, she felt that anything was possible. And somewhere in the shadows of the iron beams, their dreams quietly intertwined, waiting to become reality. The days that followed were full of excitement and worry for Myra. The city council had announced plans to renovate the bridge. While improvements were necessary for safety, the proposal threatened the bridge's old charm. Myra felt torn. She understood the importance of progress, but the bridge held memories of her father, of the workers who had built it, and now, of the quiet evenings spent with Liam. She met Liam on the bridge that evening, hoping his calm presence would help her sort through her thoughts. The wind carried a gentle chill, and the orange glow of the sunset reflected off the iron beams. Myra opened her sketchbook, but the page remained blank. Words and images seemed too small to capture the weight she felt. "I heard about the renovation plan," Liam said softly, walking beside her. "Are you worried?" Myra nodded. "Yes. I don't want to see the bridge change too much. It's more than steel and bolts to me. It's history, memories, stories. Even now, it holds a part of my life." Liam looked out at the river, then back at her. "We can do something. We don't have to just accept it. Maybe we can find a way to preserve what matters while still allowing the city to improve." Myra's eyes lit up with a spark of hope. "You really think we can do that?" "I do," Liam said firmly. "We just need a plan, ideas that respect the past but also embrace the future. And I can help you." Together. For the next few weeks, Myra and Liam worked side by side, visiting the bridge in the evenings and sometimes during quiet mornings. They sketched designs, made notes, and imagined ways the bridge could be improved without losing its soul. Liam's knowledge of structures from his distant world brought fresh ideas, while Myra's understanding of the city and its people ensured that their plan remained practical. During these long sessions, their bond grew stronger. They shared small gestures that spoke volumes, Myra handing Liam a pencil when he dropped one, Liam placing a tiny sketch he made for her on the railing for her to find, quiet laughter when an idea seemed impossible yet fascinating. Each moment strengthened the trust and affection between them, even if neither spoke openly about it. One evening, as the sky faded into deep purple, Myra leaned against a beam, exhausted but happy. "I can't believe we've come this far," she said softly. "I was so afraid at first, but now, it feels like we might really make a difference." Liam sat beside her, brushing a stray lock of hair from her face. "You've always had courage, Myra. You just needed someone to remind you that it matters. I'm proud to be here with you." Myra felt warmth rise in her chest. His words, simple as they were, meant more than she could explain. I'm glad you're here too," she said quietly. They watched as the lights of the city reflected on the river, casting dancing shadows on the bridge's beams. The moment was quiet, filled with unspoken understanding. For a while, neither spoke, content to simply be there together. As the council meeting approached, the city grew more curious about their project. Myra and Liam presented their proposal, showing sketches and explanations for how the bridge could remain historic while becoming safer and more welcoming. Their ideas impressed many, and slowly, support began to build. Even during this stressful time, Myra found solace in their evenings on the bridge. They shared stories, dreams, and small personal details that brought them closer. Myra spoke about her father's love for the city and his hope for a better future. Liam shared memories of his distant world, describing skies, rivers, and structures that seemed impossible yet beautiful. Every conversation brought new understanding, and every laugh strengthened the connection growing between them. One evening, after a long day of planning, they paused on the center of the bridge. The sun had set, leaving only the soft glow of the city lights. Myra looked at Liam, feeling a quiet courage well up inside her. No matter what happens, she said softly, I'm glad we did this together. Liam reached for her hand, holding it gently. Me too, Myra. We've made something special. And whatever happens, this bridge, and these moments, will always be ours. As they left the bridge that night, the shadows stretched long across the iron beams, dancing in the glow of the city lights. The bridge had become more than a structure, it was a place of trust, teamwork, and quietly growing affection. Myra knew challenges still awaited them, but for the first time in a long while, she felt certain that together, she and Liam could face whatever came next. The night before the city council was set to make their final decision about the bridge, Myra felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She arrived at the bridge early, hoping to find some peace before the long day ahead. The sky was a deep indigo, dotted with faint stars, and the lights from the city reflected softly on the river below. The bridge felt quieter than usual, almost as if it were holding its breath, waiting for what was to come. Myra found Liam already there, leaning against one of the sturdy beams. His usual calm smile was there, but his eyes held a thoughtful seriousness. I thought I'd find you here, he said softly. I needed a moment, Myra admitted. Tomorrow is important, and I'm a little scared. Liam walked closer and offered his hand. Scared of change, or scared of losing the bridge? Both, she said quietly. It's more than a bridge to me. It's memories, dreams, and now, it's part of us, too. He looked at her, understanding more than words could say. Change can be hard, but it doesn't have to erase the past. It can make the future even better. And whatever happens, we'll face it together. Myra smiled, feeling a sense of reassurance. The shadows of the iron beams stretched across them, long and shifting in the glow of the city lights. Somehow, the shadows seemed to wrap around them, quiet witnesses to their conversation, their trust, and the bond that had grown between them. They began walking slowly along the bridge, talking about dreams and possibilities. Myra shared her vision of bridges that could connect communities, places where people would stop, notice, and remember. Liam spoke of his world, describing ways structures could interact with their surroundings, changing with the light, the wind, and even the moods of those who walked through them. Every word seemed to add life to the bridge beneath their feet. As they reached the center, the city lights reflected on the wet iron beams, creating a soft glow. Myra paused and looked at Liam. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but, being here with you makes me feel stronger. He took her hand gently, their fingers interlocking. You've always been strong, Myra. I'm just here to remind you of it. And, to remind you that some things like trust, respect, and care can never be taken away. For a long while, they simply stood together, watching the river flow beneath the bridge. The sounds of the city seemed distant now, replaced by the quiet rhythm of the water and the soft hum of the wind through the beams. Myra felt a calm settle over her, as if the bridge itself were lending its strength to her heart. Do you think, she began hesitantly, do you think we'll be okay? Liam smiled gently. We will. No matter what happens, we've already built something stronger than any steel, something that can't be measured, but can only be felt. And that's between us. Myra's heart lifted at his words. She realized that the bridge had become more than a place to remember her father or to admire its structure. It had become a place where trust, friendship, and quiet love could grow. Liam's presence made it feel alive in a way she had never imagined, and she knew that no matter what the council decided, the bridge and their bond would remain. The stars twinkled faintly above them, mirrored by the city lights dancing on the river. The shadows moved slowly across the beams, shifting with the soft breeze. Myra felt a sudden sense of courage, knowing that tomorrow's challenges were just another step in a journey she would not face alone. "Thank you, Liam," she whispered. "For everything, for being here, for believing in me, and for making this bridge feel magical." He squeezed her hand gently. "And thank you, Myra, for showing me the world through your eyes. I think this bridge will always be our place." As they finally turned to leave, the soft glow of the city lights and the shifting shadows of the beams seemed to linger behind them, like a quiet promise. A promise that no matter what came next, decisions, changes, or challenges, they would face it together, with courage, hope, and the quiet bond that had grown stronger with every evening spent on the iron bridge. The morning of the city council's final decision arrived with crisp sunlight and a soft breeze that carried the scent of the river. Myra walked to the bridge earlier than usual, her heart beating with a mix of hope and anxiety. Today would determine the future of the bridge she had loved all her life, the bridge her father had helped build, and now, the bridge that had become a place of connection and quiet love with Liam. Liam was already there, standing near the center of the bridge, looking out over the river. When he saw Myra, he waved, and his calm smile brought her a moment of relief. "Morning," he said softly. "Are you ready?" "As ready as I'll ever be," Myra replied. She opened her sketchbook and looked at the designs they had worked on together. Every line, every note, and every sketch was a part of their combined effort, a vision of the bridge that respected the past while welcoming the future. Together, they walked along the iron beams, observing how the light played across the structure. The shadows of the beams stretched long across the walkway, shifting with the sun as if they were alive, mirroring the tension and hope in Myra's chest. "We did everything we could," Liam said quietly. "No matter what happens, our bridge will always hold our memories." Myra nodded, feeling a deep sense of calm. "I hope the council sees it the way we do," she said. "That the bridge is not just steel and bolts, but stories, dreams, and a connection to the past." Hours later, the council members arrived on the bridge to review the proposal. Myra and Liam presented their ideas with confidence, explaining how the bridge could be renovated safely while preserving its historic character. They showed sketches, structural improvements, and ways to enhance accessibility without erasing its charm. Throughout the presentation, Myra felt Liam's steady presence beside her. His quiet support, his calm words, and the occasional encouraging glance gave her courage. She realized that this was not just about the bridge, it was about collaboration, respect, and shared vision. And through it all, she felt a deep gratitude for having someone who truly understood both her and the bridge. After the presentation, the council members whispered among themselves, reviewing the sketches and plans. Myra and Liam stepped aside, standing at the edge of the bridge, looking out over the river. The water reflected the sunlight, sparkling as if celebrating the moment. "I hope they understand," Myra whispered. "They will," Liam replied confidently. "We've done more than just present ideas. We've shown them the heart of the bridge. That's something no plan alone can capture." Minutes felt like hours until finally, the council returned with their decision. The head official stepped forward, smiling. "After careful consideration, we approve your proposal. The bridge will be renovated with respect for its history, incorporating your ideas for safety, beauty, and accessibility. Congratulations." Myra felt a rush of relief and happiness. She looked at Liam, who was smiling widely, and they shared a quiet laugh of joy. The bridge, which had carried so many memories, would continue to stand strong, welcoming new stories while honoring the past. Later that evening, Myra and Liam returned to the bridge, this time without sketches or plans. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the iron beams. They walked slowly, hands brushing, smiles quiet but full of meaning. "I can't believe it's really happening," Myra said softly. "The bridge will be safe, beautiful, and still, ours." Liam took her hand gently, squeezing it. "It's not just the bridge that's ours," he said. "It's these moments, the trust we've built, and the bond between us." Myra felt her heart lift. "I'm glad we found each other here," she whispered. They stopped in the center of the bridge, watching the river glow under the fading sunlight. Shadows danced along the beams, moving slowly like silent witnesses to the journey they had shared. Myra realized that the bridge had become more than a structure, it had become a place of growth, hope, and quiet love. Liam turned to her, eyes reflecting the soft light. "I think this bridge will always remind us," he said, "that we can face challenges together, and that trust and care can make anything possible." Myra smiled, leaning slightly against him. "And I think it will always remind us of beginnings, new dreams, and the people who believe in us." As night fell, the city lights flickered on, reflecting on the river and the wet iron beams. The bridge stood strong, carrying shadows and light, stories and memories, just as it had for generations. Myra and Liam held hands, feeling the steady strength of the bridge beneath their feet and the quiet strength of their connection. For the first time in a long while, Myra felt completely at peace. The bridge had given her memories, dreams, and now love. And in the shadows and light of the iron beams, she knew that whatever came next, she and Liam would face it together. The iron bridge, strong and steady, had witnessed the past, the present, and now, the beginning of their future.